Hello, my lovely listeners. Today I wanted to talk about the pursuit of happiness and how, when we achieve something that we really wanted to, the achievement of the goal that we set ourselves up for, something that we really, really wanted, and then how quickly it becomes our normal reality and we are and it's not a constant happiness that we thought it was going to be. It was about thinking that if I had this thing, if I achieve this thing, if I don't know, get promoted, I get however many subscribers, I am in this relationship, I get this new bag, I move somewhere, I am living in the new home. This is something that is going to make us so happy, and then we try and we persevere in achieving this goal. And while we have this goal in mind, everything is almost like it gives us energy. Obviously sometimes we need to still push ourselves, and gives us energy, and we push and we push and we sometimes struggle, but we have this goal, this aim in mind, and we just go and try to do it. And then once we achieve it, and sometimes it just is those little moments that we don't really realize that align us with achieving this goal, and only when we look back we can see that, oh, that's what it was aligning me to, that's what it was doing, that's why I got this goal, because of all those little steps. And sometimes I thought the steps were sideways, and sometimes I thought they were even backwards, but no, they were still taking me to this goal. And then I have two reflections. First is, when I achieve this goal, when I am in a situation like I am now, I have achieved my goal, and I am waking up on a second day or a third day where the sort of elevation and the happiness starting to wind down. And my first thought was, why was I aiming so low? Why wasn't I aiming for a higher goal? That was obviously it wasn't easy when I look back, but when it happened, it just seems so easy now. And I am in this state now, and obviously it changed a lot to what it used to be, but really it's not bringing me the happiness, the sort of state that I was thinking I was going to be in. And then I have to be really careful about being grateful, because again, that's the energy you're giving out to the universe of, I have to be grateful for this one, and I am super grateful. And the more I talk about this, that's why this talking is so therapeutic, because the more I talk about it, the more I express it, the more I realize that I need to be grateful, and that it was a long way coming. So that's one, and I am super grateful, and I want to say it out loud to the universe. I am super grateful for the achievement of this goal. But then also there are those thoughts about, and now what? Obviously there need to be another goal, because living without goals is sort of that's not alive. That's not being alive. And obviously, yes, we can take breaks, right? Because everyone needs rest and recuperation. And the setting up of the goals is hard, especially when you achieved all the goals that there are. Or not that there are, because there's always going to be more goals, but when you achieve the one goal that you had in mind, and then you are kind of obviously first trying to be comfortable in this area, in this new area in your life. Is it relationship? Is it moving? Is it job? Is it having outreach to people that you are trying, if you are online, that you are trying to benefit? And the feeling of responsibility, maybe more responsibility. but it's being in this new environment, but then it's kind of setting a new goal, and then you realize you're going from goal to goal, and the goals that you are setting, how big they are, how achievable they are, how do you know you are there. So I guess I am now in a state of setting new goals and really thinking about this. What do I want as a next step? But also not forgetting to be happy about the step that I have achieved, to be happy and to not forget that I have achieved it. And so that was one thing about being happy, and about then jumping straight away to another goal, and kind of forgetting in the rush that to take a break, maybe to rest a little bit, to kind of be in the space between the goals, and be really happy and appreciate yourself, which I don't know what exactly and how the mind is wired, that is kind of constantly reaching and trying to get a new state of happiness, that the happiness that we were aiming for, once it happens, starts becoming normality, and it's not the constant state of happiness. We are not made to be in a constant state of happiness. That's not how humans are wired. We can be calm and we can be content, but it's not the happiness. It's not like being in a kind of higher alert, because that's not really good for us as well. We shouldn't be in a higher alert. We shouldn't be in the elevation, because that's tiring for the nervous system as well, to be in a constant elevation and a constant really high alert of happiness. So what we really want is the calm. What we really want is the sort of zen, the observing of our thoughts and just flowing onto the ocean of life. But in the same time is about flowing in the ocean of life, and then seeing something in the distance, and kind of saying, I want to float to that place, because that seems interesting, that seems good for me, and also that seems good for everyone around me, right? It's this balance about, it's good for me, but I also want to benefit other people, and I also want to appreciate the floating part, and I also want to be happy when I get there, and I want to appreciate when I get there, and I don't need to look for another thing straight away. I can stay in the moment with this appreciation. I'm trying to make sense of this myself, and I am in a kind of like a confusion zone of I wanted to achieve this goal, to be happy and grateful, but also about the second actually thing, which was, why wasn't I not aiming for something bigger? This is great, this is amazing, and I have achieved it, so I can achieve this, so that means that I can achieve things even better. Was I putting myself down? Is this goal smaller than I could have done, or is it just me criticizing myself? I guess the answer to this is definitely something around wanting more and staying smaller, but also recognizing that this is also good enough, and recognizing my own inner power, meaning that if I could achieve this goal, and I can see things aligning to me, and sometimes even I can see the magic and things being things just kind of coming in together with my work as well. But if this happened to this small thing that some time ago regarded this as a big thing, and now I have it, and I don't see it as such a big thing anymore as when I used to see it, and I don't know, 2 or 3 years ago. I kind of put it on pedestal, and now I am there, and it's not on a pedestal like this anymore. It's there, it's achievable. Again, very grateful for this, and I am not comfortable in this situation at all yet, so I'm kind of learning this situation, but looking for another goal. But is this next goal, how big I am going to set it up? Shall I set it up even bigger maybe, so that when I get the new goal, I will be like, yes, that's the biggest one I could get. So I know that I was speaking to a friend, and she mentioned this book, that was written by this person, a man who landed on the moon, but not Neil Armstrong. Apparently, there was a second person, astronaut, who landed on the moon, and and that's the goal. So imagine a goal of landing on the moon, and you've achieved it. Like, what's bigger than that? And kind of every one of us have got their own moon, and then they will land on this, and they are like, I achieved this big goal. What else is out there? And yeah, this guy has written a book about this, and how he kind of overcame it, and went into some sort of depression, or the disbelief, or like what else is out there after achieving the most amazing goal a person can achieve. So I thought it's interesting, and I kind of understand this about the silence after achieving the goal, and the inability, if that's the word, of fully going into a happiness without kind of trying to see another goal, or saying, oh, that wasn't big enough. Obviously, that for me was like my little moon. I am walking on the moon now of this goal, which used to be really big. I don't know. So there are other planets, or there are other things, and we can think about different goals on different levels. And sometimes for someone it could be getting out of bed, like the biggest goal of the day, and that would be their moon almost. And then there's so much more apart from that, but that's you know what I mean. This is kind of the way I understand it. So it's still there, and setting up the goals is a very interesting thing, and very coachable thing, and asking yourself all sorts of questions of what is next, what do I want to achieve, where do I go from there, because achieving the goal opens up another level of opportunities and options. So it's like it might be a next level in a game of life, and then what else do you do? Although I don't like to see the life as a game. For me, it's just more magical, and for me, it's just more spiritual than just going and kind of clicking and being clever about how to overcome next levels. So I hope it was helpful. I don't know if I kind of confused myself a little bit more, but it's just nice to be able to talk about this, and I really invite you to do that as well, and to reflect about what it is. And if you are in the pursuing of a goal, that's a great journey as well. And then once you achieve this goal, which I'm sure you will, not forgetting that the goals can change during the way. So you think you're going into one goal, and then you going there, ask yourself questions, doing some actions, and then in the middle of that you are just like, actually I want to change my goal, or I want to amend it, which is completely fine and completely normal, and actually really good when you adjust while going there. So and you are still agile while you are going into a goal. So that's just a kind of like a digression, but enjoying the journey there, and then once achieving this goal, kind of reflecting on being there, being grateful, the happiness, and then how long do I want to stay there without needing to immediately set up another goal, because that's kind of like a preparation. So I guess I am in there. So I guess it did help to kind of establish, if you're in the same position, to kind of establish that. And I speak to you soon. Bye bye.